Hey everyone, it is Shay Seeking, and I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. So, I know that we're going through Genesis and we stopped at 2. I read through 3 and 4, and I kind of just marked a couple things, and I'm going to go ahead and do somewhat of a freestyle that I tried to prepare for, but I couldn't because I got a family here, and I'm trying to learn how to juggle this whole thing and that. So, let's see. Okay, so what we were doing was we were in Genesis, and I'm going to take you there because I'm very excited to actually go there. But excuse me. We're going to go ahead and run back to let's see. We're going to go and run back to Genesis 1 real quick. And I'm hoping this one going to be short, okay? So, we already read that. And oh, just so you guys know, anyone that's new to the channel, what we do here is just take a second look at the word. Um, I'm not a Christian, I'm not an atheist, okay? And I don't go to church, but I stay up in this word. So, the whole thing that I'm trying to do is tell you that the Bible is not as old as they told you it was, okay? And then I want to also tell you that we didn't get the first Bibles that were able to be distributed to everyone until the late 1800s, right? So the first one that was ever printed and given to people in the Americas was the Algonquin Bible, um, and that was prior to 1833. But then they got a Common Bible in 1833 that was in English finally. Because I think Greek and whatever other languages were first, but it was to only a small, limited amount of people. And I'm pretty sure it's some of the settlers and their families and some of the other people that came in order to, establish what they wanted to do. Okay. So what was I gonna say? Oh, and then so basically like how me and you are able to go buy it today, um, that would have happened after 1833. Okay. I'm not gonna tell you exactly when because I didn't get the exact date, but it happened after that was just the most important thing to take from that. Okay. And then I want to let you know that this Bible may pretty much really be talking about the colonizing of America, the invading of America, the voyages in America, the genocides that happen here. And it's more than likely talking about the American people. And there's one more small thing that I want to put in for you newbies. This is more than likely the story of the peoples of the America. And those peoples, I'm not saying are only limited to, but those peoples included so called Black people of today that were people that were here prior to 1492. His story has lied, and the slave trade did not happen how you think it did. And I am someone that uses my information from the Bible, from history, from the hidden history of the Americas and not everywhere else. I specialize in looking into the stuff that happened here. Um, in doing so, okay, and going through a very turbulent awakening, okay, I've come to the conclusion that this is the way that I see it there. And if I believe in any type of creator, this is the mindset that he wanted me to have. And so this is the way I'm going to look at it. I tried for a long time to read the Bible and just say, oh, this story about this person, where, but it just never settled with me to just read it on the surface. It wasn't until I started digging into every single word and digging in. So what we're doing here right now is going back to Genesis. And if I can show you how this works in Genesis, it will carry you throughout the rest of the book and carry you hopefully up out of this damn mental slavery and out of all this other mind control manipulating stuff that's been done to people in general, but mostly people of color, or not even indigenous. I don't want to use aboriginal or originals. The earth itself. Because when we're talking in Genesis 1, I'm starting to realize that when we're talking about the earth, we're talking about people that were of dark melanated skin colors. Okay? The waters is representing the floods that happen over time to create your different races, your so-called races that are here on the earth, and all the stuff and established in the firmament that been placed on the earth to keep it stagnant. And that means you. Okay? So this is more of a spiritual thing. It's not even really about color, but it kind of is. Because until people start seeing the value of people of color and seeing the whole thing that has been done to them, and that they're not just making these things up. Okay. And like I like to say, whether they're giving us the perception that this shit is occurring in the Black community or it's really occurring, it should be bothering people on a massive scale. But we have, not to say that one life is more valuable than the other, but how the hell you gonna deny the mother and the father of all the shit? How long you gonna be able to do it when everybody else come and just dig their heels into the soil? Okay, that represents them digging their heels into you and your ancestry. Okay, so for how long are we gonna allow them to teach the masters the beginning, the earth itself? How can anything that sprung from the earth teach the earth? How have we let that go on for so long? So what I want to say is you can go ahead and follow me in this book. We're going to be able to prove somewhat to a whoever. There's no scholars here. There's no scholars here. I'm not claiming to know everything. I'm just here to open up people's eyes. I'm just here to make us think. Me too. So whatever you have to comment, or if you disagree with something or you have a different version, please comment down below, because I'm always looking to connect with different brothers and sisters of all ethnicities. Okay, I don't discriminate in order to come to a conclusion, or to, I don't even think we'll ever get there. Okay, come to terms with all of this. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now, for those you don't know, my favorite Bible I have here, I bought it from an estate sale a long time ago. And I know that the people that are here, I'm sorry if it sounds repetitive, but I like to talk about this Bible because if anybody comes across one, pick it up. So it's the Holy Bible. It says PTL, Parallel Edition, King James Version, and the Living Bible. Not the New Living Translation, but the Living. And then we have, let's see. I like to use Bible Hub. Let's see if we can find what we want to go to here. 14. Okay. So I like to use Bible Hub because it gives you that also that parallel on the settings that I have it on, it gives you that parallel view. Okay. So people like to say that they changed the words. Well, they didn't change them that damn much. Again, they change your perception more than anything, right? So we have here 13 Genesis 1, 13 and 14. I'm about to read to you from 14 and 15. So let's see if we can go over 1 and see what that does. Okay. Okay, so I think this is somewhere where I want to be. And then you'll see why I like the Bible version that I have here, because you're not going to really see the words that I'm reading to you in any of these books. Out of all of these ones that these versions that they've pulled up here, you're not going to see this one. And people can stay up in that King James if you want to, but in order for you to see this in a different way, this is the perfect Bible. This is the perfect Bible. I have to say. And here's the New Living Translation here, right? So this is not the one that I have. Mine doesn't say new. It just says Living Translation. And I cannot find it on here to show you guys. And this is why I just have it here with me. You just have to try to believe me and trust what I'm saying. You might be able to find it on eBay or something. I'm not sure, So here we go. So we've already talked about when God started to create or whatever. And he wanted there to be light, and it was light. And then he wanted division to happen. And we wonder why division is something that is occurring from the beginning of time. It's always been there because God wanted this particular God, because I know from studying this book inside and out and looking at different definitions that there's not just one God in this Bible. You can keep thinking like Christianity tells you to that there's one God, but it doesn't matter. The book is stating several times. Why would God say don't have any other gods above me, or certain things like this? This is when you have to use your mind, and you can't do that in religion. I'm sorry. You can't do that to the full. You can use your mind, but you can't use it to the fullest power in a non-biased way when it comes to this word. Most people that are religious have a wall that has been put up. And if you go beyond anything that their pastors, because really most of the stuff that they learn is from the pastor, which the book says don't let no man deceive you. And I'm pretty sure it was including them. Okay? Because it even also says that pastors were going to deceive people sometime in the future. And I'm not going to get all scholarly or all like I've been to Bible school or anything, but those are the things that I believe are creating a blockage in the minds of the people. I would just say go ahead and let it all fall down, and when you collect it back up, make sure it's in your own damn words. So I like to say these things because some people are new to the channel and I just want you to think. That's it. So now that we know that the words have been shifted, because we can see it here, we're going to go ahead and read from the Living Bible. Okay? Because this Bible for right now is going to give us a different way of looking at this for now. So I'll flip-flop between the King James and the Living. Okay, so, and then God said, let there be lights. Okay, let's go back. Then God said, let bright lights appear in the sky to give light to the earth. Okay? And to identify the day and the night. Okay? They shall bring about the seasons on the earth and mark the days and years. And so it was. For God had made two huge or great lights, the sun and the moon, to shine down on the earth. Keep in mind that I've already proved in the Genesis thing, so there's no question about it that 90% of the time we're talking about earth in this book. Of course, you have to go through the whole chapter to see what we're really talking about. This is why I don't like plicking. I keep saying that. Plucking and picking things like pastors do in church to make a point. Read me the whole damn thing. You got me here for 2 hours. What is really going on? Why are we not going through the book? And then why are we listening to a couple of verses in the way you feel about something that is just common to everybody so that you can make me feel like you really taught me something when I left here? But my people, even the neighborhoods that, in my opinion, because I'm just going from my perception, the neighborhoods that the churches that I see are in shambles. Okay. Even though, and I'm still want to look at it the way that you've been looking at it when we said supposed to been looking at it the way you've been looking at it for a couple hundred damn years? I think not. While everyone else is climbing on top of my people, and it seems like my people love this Jesus so much that he has even hijacked the position of God. And people think that you have to go through him in order to get to the source. I have a problem with that, and I am going to look into it a little bit deeper to see what we're really talking about, right? So it kind of seems like how the so-called black people, okay, or melanated American Indians, or whatever they might have been even before that, it seems like they've had the same thing happen to them. That they've taken on a different so-called Israel. Okay, if we even talking about the same thing, and those ain't the people over there. That ain't even the damn Israel. It just became Israel, or that's not the right Jerusalem. It just became that area not too long ago. Okay. Just like the Native Americans are not the original people. Now, they'll make up some bull about how they've been here for 15,000 years. I don't even think it's that damn long, okay? That's just my opinion. But they won't say, even if some of those Asian features were already here, those phenotypes was already here in the West. They had dark skin. But you're going to leave out the American Indians. Mostly, we don't even really talk about their stories that much because Hollywood and everybody else has you looking at the Wild West. Okay? because those are the you're just not going to understand what I'm saying if you haven't gone through the whole thing, okay? So, I promise y'all I'm about to just read this and then we just going to go into it. So, we're already at the point where he said, let lights appear in the sky to give light on the earth and identify the day from the night. They shall bring about the seasons on the earth and mark the days and years. And so it was. For God had made two huge lights, the sun and the moon, to shine down upon the earth. The large one, the sun, to preside over the day, and the smaller one, the moon, to preside through the night. He had made he had also made the stars, and God set them in the sky to light the earth. So what I wanted to really focus on is that he put these great lights there to preside, to preside, okay, over the day and through the night. I didn't even catch that one. I read it a couple times and I didn't catch that one. So again, the two huge lights, the sun and moon, to shine down upon the earth. Okay? And the larger one, the sun, to preside over the day, and the smaller one, the moon, to preside through the night. He had also made stars, and God them set them in the sky, which we know the sky can also be just a higher elevated place. So we could be talking about bringing us down spiritually and coming up high with their occult information, or we could be talking about physically, which we have been brought down very low, where they say from the earth you came and now you're going to go back to it, or back down to the earth, and then them just, you know, we can look at it either way. There's dozens of ways we can look at it. You have to pick the one that resides with you. Okay, so he set them in the sky to light the earth. The whole thing is he set them in an elevated status or position or firmament or house of God, which is, that's the only thing that heaven means. Look it up. And to preside, here we go again, in Genesis 2:18 in the Living Bible. Okay, it says, and to preside over the day and the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. Okay, and God was pleased. This all happened in the fourth day. So then what you can do and what I can do, because I haven't done it yet, is I want to go back to the year 14. I want to go back to the 1400s and see what exactly was happening. Rather, they don't really talk about much before Columbus, but I would like to see if I can find some information, because then they put stories in mythology and all these other things and folklore or whatever, and folk tales, in order to disguise it as true. I mean, to separate it from truth. Okay. But it's just a really tricky way how they do everything. So anyway, we can go back and see what they were doing in the 1400s. And if we can't see what they were doing in the 1400s here, we can go ahead and look at what they were doing over there. Okay. Who were the main key players? What were they doing? What were their missions? What was going on? But I know that let's see if we can find it here. Here we go. Okay. So here we go. Here's the doom or dumb diverses. Okay. And this is it is papal bull issued on the 18th of June in 1452. Again, this is going to carry me off for a second, but I promise I'm going to go back in. So it was issued in June, 1452. And It authorized these people to conquer Saracens and pagans and consign them to perpetual servitude. Okay? Let's see what this little thing says up here. Papal bull, um, Pope Nicholas authorized King Alfonso of Portugal to invade, capture, vanquish, subdue. Now didn't God just say something about go in and to subdue? Who? What? Well, you know what? Let's see. Let's just see what the pagans and Saracens. Let me go ahead and just jot this down. Somewhat, okay? So, to subdue could they be the earth? Could the Saracens and pagans be the earth? Now, if they are the earth, how can they be the Israelites? This is another thing you need to question yourself, okay? Because even when we jump on the truth, they also have diversions that's going to lead you somewhere else, more in a occultish way, if you don't really pay attention. Okay? So if you don't know how they switched up the laws, along with the way that you think the Bible was switched up, along with the way that the American Negro is actually the American Indian, then you're going to get this all wrong. Okay? So to reduce their person, damn, didn't we just talk about this all up in Genesis? We ain't even out of Genesis 2, y'all. I haven't even given you 3 and 4. Okay? So to perpetual slavery and to take away all their possessions and property. Well, what the hell? I'm just saying. Christians encouraging non-Christians could take everything. So, if you was just an American Negro or an American Indian, somebody can come over here and change who the hell you are, take away your lands with the land grabs, the land sales and everything, and reduce you to nothing. Whole time, like the Webster's Dictionary says in 1828, that the American was the copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but the term now applies to the children of the Europeans. Then what happened? Is this biblical? Okay? Or not? Let's see who the pagans are. Let me just read this little piece right here. And to divide the, okay, and God was pleased. This all happened on the 4th day. And I'm telling you, the 4th day just basically, if you're a free thinker and if you're seeking for the truth, the 1400s, 9 times out of 10 probably really means, the 4th day means the 1400s. And I just proved that to you a second ago, that things correlate just a little bit too much. We were just talking about this. I decided to go back and see because I think that it did have something to do with 14 something. And guess what happened? A couple years later in 1492, what was that? 40 years later? And then they came and did what? I don't know. This says something about Jacob's seed. I don't know, but you're going to let somebody tell you that the Bible is even way older, some stuff that happened even way before 1452. Come on, man. It's got to make sense. Common sense is available. Wisdom, discernment is coming through. Let's get it. Let's get with it. Okay? So, again, let's see. Let's see when the first papal bull. Oh, I probably spelled that wrong. Oh, wait. This is an incomplete list of papal bulls listed in the years in which each was issued. Also note in whatever at the table of the Lord, okay, a recurrent papal bull issued annually between 1363. So are we talking about in the 3rd day? And 1770. That's a little bit before God could rest, in my opinion. I'm thinking Independence Day or 1776 was when God chose to rest. And that's why you celebrate it really today. If you want to get back to the whole nitty gritty of the whole thing. At first on Holy Thursday. Okay, something. Let's just see if we can look. Let's see. Let's see. Now, we all looking funny at the Vatican nowadays, but before, you just thought this was a part of Christianity or a part of God or whatever, you know. But Again, just like the timeline we had up the other day with the first people that came in. 1,000. Okay, in the year 1059. Okay, we can go through here, but I really don't, want to go all the way through this. This is just something you could look up right here. List of papal bulls. It's going to bring you up, because when discernment is there and wisdom is there, and you're being led by something other than what you can explain, it just works. The formulas don't go according to how they say it does or how you were taught in school or in the education system. It works. It's a sense of knowing, not just belief and faith. Okay? And belief and faith is not going to be determining factors when you're taking your butt and jumping from one side of a cliff to another. You need to know that you can make it. And at the last minute, you might be leaping out on faith or whatever you call it, but hey, that's a tough decision. So again, 1100 provides protection for the Jews who suffer from the hands of the first crusade. I don't know. Could that have been around the time when those people came here? I can't remember. We would have to pull it up again, and I'm not going to do that. When those people first came here through the so-called Bering Straits, I don't know. Or those Nordsmen or whatever it was, I think we were reading, that came through. So then here, the knights. And see, everything keep coming up with me with this knights. The knights of Templar or whatever. And then when we were talking, because we keep talking about knights and stuff all in the Bible. But again, it might not be too far fetched, because this will be the first day. Okay, this will be what is known to me as the first day when we're reading the Bible. Okay, so soldiers of God. So what I'm thinking happened was, once they could rest in the 1700s, okay, we can't say what, because nobody's on earth can really come back and tell you that they were there at this point in time, okay, in 1700s or the 1400s. So all we have is the information that's been given to us by our conquerors, for the people that came here and took. You think they're going to tell you the truth? Okay, that don't mean the truth ain't out there. It just means that they're not going to pump it mainstream and pump it into your head and make you regurgitate it like they do with all this other stuff in school. So, again, we're just going through this real quick. These are some of the things. Calls for a crusade to the Holy Land. Which one is that? I don't know. Terra something Christi. I don't know. Let's see. I mean, you can just go through here and read some of this stuff on your own or whatever. But I'm just trying to point out the fact that this might not be so far-fetched. 14 something. So I don't know. Everything gets read here. I don't know. It's a lot of stuff that gets read right here when it comes to 1200s. And then let's see. Renews law requiring Jews to wear badges. Okay. So if anything, all this stuff seems like the ruling over the structure or the firmament being set, there being a house of God or a palace or something, in order to be able to dictate what goes on, to trick the people. Okay. This is all here. Like, this is actually, I'm probably going to print this out. Wait, what did it say about indigenous peoples of America? Okay, 1537 forbids the enslavement of indigenous people. Oh, but they have the wrong people here. Okay. Well, you know what? If we look up the term, it takes us to look up the term indigenous, because actually they could be the indigenous people, possibly, if we go back to that term, because that just means someone that sprung from. I'm looking at these words differently. This helps me see them differently too. Even the autochthons or whatever. But the whole purpose is, I don't think that there's any material out there that is going to actually show us how the people, and you can see the layers of the earth, or the colors, even on these people. You can see, oh, Oh, here's a great light, the sun. So now is this bringing in the Jesuits? Because the Jesuits, I think, are the here it is right here. The Jesuits. Okay, wait a minute, stop, y'all, wait. Are we in the fifth day? Okay, let's see. That ended the fifth day. Oh yeah, we in the fifth day. We in the fifth day. Okay, we in the fifth day. Here's the big old sun right here. Where did it go? Okay. You see this? Because just not that long ago in 1492 or 14 whatever, they said to go and do all this with the indigenous people, and then now it says stop enslaving them. Why? Because you had already lightened them up and you saw it was good. You see what I'm saying? Let's see if we can even see what it. See, this is how shit just lead me from one thing to the other. Which forbids enslavement of indigenous people of the American called the Indians, called Indians. Okay, so it says stop enslaving those people that are called Indians now, because I'm pretty sure. And hey, I'm not going to look at it as a biased standpoint. This could have been something that somebody ignored or changed or hid, and then they did what they wanted to do, and it might not be the fault of these people. Or we can look at it and say, hey, what happened? Is it because all the Indians were already turned to Negroes? Could that be? Or Africans? Or you try to change their mind, or the elders are gone, you've taken their children away and put them in these messed up camps, or what you called whatever they call them, with the pastors, and I mean not with the pastors, but with the popes and the friars and the nuns and stuff like that. These schools or whatever that they put them in. So, what are we really talking about here? Okay, so the thing is, or had you got us to a point where we didn't have anything, and so we would put ourselves back into slavery by signing up for things and by sharecropping and by doing all these other things, and then the sharecropper gets 90% and you get a small percent, and then you still have to buy your own tools and stuff to service the land, like shit, stuff like that. Okay? So again, wait. It goes on to state that the Indians are fully rational human beings who have rights to freedom, and private property, even if they are heathen. So I don't know. So, but it's telling you right here, even though they are, what is this called, Indians of the West? Okay, those will be the newbies. We know that by that time. And the South. Who was in the South? Who was supposedly in the South? Okay. Even if they are heathen. So are you the Israelites that God has been guiding to take land from other people? Land and resources from other people? And then say, hold on a minute, so I can put you there in this place? Is that what they did for the heathens? Or is that what they did for everybody else? So who's the heathen and who are the tribes? Because I'm telling you, I think that the tribes are just saying these are the people of these 13 colonies or whatever that are owned by them. Okay. Or it's meaning something else. Okay. It's meaning something else. It's meaning something else because I already looked at some of this stuff, and I started to look at like some of the military men or the people that were leading crusades or whatever they were leading. And some of these names add up to those biblical names, and it makes a little bit more sense once you start seeing the storyline of what happened, and then you start reading the storylines of what was happening in the book. I'm just telling you. So we already know. Okay, now let's see. In late spring 1452, Byzantine Emperor Constantine, okay, wrote the Pope for his assistance, okay, impending siege of Constantinople, whatever, okay. Let's see, authorizing King Alfonso's Portugal, attack, conquer, and subjugate the Saracens, pagans, and other enemies of Christ. Okay. I have a hard time with that one because I don't know. It's too sensitive and I don't want to get nothing wrong. So I'm just building up my arsenal when it comes to that whole thing about Christ. But it's okay. So okay. So let's see, what does this say? The bull is cited at oh times evidence of strong sanctioned slavery. Okay, and anyway, wait a minute. Let's read this again. Forbids the enslavement of indigenous peoples of America called Indians. Okay, so look again. Why don't we hear about this slave trade? I know about it because I was reading about it, but I just had to come back for a second. What is this? The English, the sublime God. Huh. Well, anyways, it just brought me back real quick. What is the major name that we learned in our mainstream indoctrination classes? Did they ever really teach you about anything about slavery when it came to Indians? No, they try to tell you, oh, well, because black people ran away and they joined hands with Indians. Well, anyways, just like the whole story about Moses, how if they weren't the same kind of complexion, how would he be able to be tricked into being the son of the what's his name? What's the thing? The Pharaoh or whatever. Okay? Must have had a similar complexion or similar traits. Same thing with Indians. How would you go and hide with Indians if they looked the way that Hollywood showed you they did in the Wild West? How would that happen? It wouldn't. They would have had to look like you for you to hide with them. Okay? And this is what's wrong with black people, so-called black people now. You want to think everybody they put on the screen or everybody they put in front of you is a black, so-called black person. No, it's something else that resonates in those. Do you dig what I'm saying? There's something else that resonates in those. Okay? These people that put up on platforms in front of you, can't none of them do nothing for you. Can't none of them save you. Can't. Why the hell you want to waste your time with them? We're getting off subject. But you're going to learn today that everybody is not, that look like you or have the same complexion is not you. So we go back to presiding over the night, the day and the night. Okay. And all that happened in the fourth day. Again, here we go. What is the division that they put between? Is it these papal bulls? Is it? Content, something, principle, passion, the enemy of the human race who opposes all good deeds. Didn't God think it was good? Let me not get ahead of myself because I don't know if that's what this is talking about. But is it good to who? Was it good to the people that you were taking shit from or good for the people that were taken? The enemy of the human race who opposes all good deeds in order to bring men to destruction, beholding and envying this, invented a means never before heard by which he might hinder the preaching of God's word to salvation to the people. He inspired his satellites. His satellites, I guess that is what it say, who, to please him, have not hesitated to publish abroad that the Indians of the West and the South and the other people of whom we have recent knowledge should be treated as dumb brutes, created for our service, pretend that they are incapable of receiving the Catholic faith. We who through unworthy exercise on earth, the power of our Lord, we who, though unworthy, exercise on earth the power of our Lord and seek all our might to bring those sheep, listen now, of his flock who are outside into the fold committed to our charge. consider, however, that the Indians are truly men and that they are not only capable of understanding the Catholic faith, but according to our information, they desire exceedingly to receive it. Desiring to provide ample remedy of these evils, we define and declare by these our letters, or by any translation thereof, signed by a notary public and sealed with the seal of the ecclesiastical. Go back into Ecclesiastics, y'all, and look and see what was going on and see if you can match it up with real life history. I'm trying to tell you. Dignitary, to which the same credit shall be given as the originals. Wait a minute. To which the same credit shall be given as the originals, that notwithstanding whatever may have been or may be said to the contrary, that the said Indian and all other peoples who may be later discovered by Christians, because Christians are the only ones that can do it. So if you're a Christian and somebody else is a non-Christian, you get to dictate what the hell is going to happen. Are by no means to be deprived or their liberty or possessions of their property. Okay, so now, but again, we're at the point where you've already poured in, you've already flooded the nation. So of course, you have some of these people that are going to be ripped in half because they don't know. Do you stick with your paler version of your family members that rape their way into the bloodline in order to succeed and go further, or do you let your family die in things like the other people that they don't want to join because they are the ones with the real power? At the end of the day, who has more power than you? Nobody, if you know who the hell you are, you can maybe prove it. After you do, you better probably watch your back, depending on how far you go. But at the end of the day, who? This is why I said let up on them. They can do this. This is why they were reserved or preserved on those reservations. Even though they be outside the faith of Jesus Christ, and that they may and should freely, whatever. And these are the treaties and stuff that probably, these are probably when they were making treaties with the other people that are not you, the offspring of the people. Okay? So, let's go back. Okay. And it said, and that was the fourth day. And I'm trying to tell you, you need to study the history of the 1400s and what they was doing with all these paperwork and all this stuff, and what exactly was it saying, and see if it was saying anything that it's saying over here in Genesis. That's all I'm saying. Then God said, let the waters teem with the fish and other life, and let the skies be filled with birds of every kind. Okay, so anyway, we're going to go ahead and, excuse me. We're going to go ahead and go and read that in the regular Bible, just so people don't think I'm trying to pull a fast one. Okay? And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose tree in itself was of their kind. And he saw it was good, and in the evening and the morning were the third day. And God said, let there be light in the firmament of heaven, and divide the day and night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater one to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he also made stars. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven, okay, to give light upon the earth, okay, and to rule over it, to rule over the day and over the night, okay, and to divide the light from the dark. And God saw it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly moving creatures that hath life, fowl that may fly above the earth. Okay, so everybody that they brought here, again, is still flying above you today. So what is common sense going to tell you about this? You still at the bottom. You still at the bottom of your own shit. And you fail to realize that we're not trying to claim to be American Indian because it's cute. People are just trying to tell you that this is the only way that we can kind of get to the truth. Okay? So They fly above you in the from the firmament of earth. And this is why these people have these casinos over here. And this is why they're so angry, because you're waking up. And this is why they go to the White House and they get these pins pinned on them and these different medallions and things like this. Okay? Because they went together to form something against you. So we're going to go ahead and look at right here, so we don't make this too long, because it's pretty long for it to just be one subject. But we're just going to go ahead and look. Preside. That's the word that brought me to going through all this information like we're doing right here. To preside. 1610. Okay? This is when the word was put in. Okay, I'm thinking. From French presider, preside over or govern. What does the president do? Where are we at? Right now, it just we're right. It says right here that ended the 5th day. So we were in the 5th day. This is the 1500s. Okay. Stand guard. Okay. What we're just saying? Preside over and do all this other stuff. So stand guard. Superintendent. Literally sit in front of. They shall not behind you. From pray. Before. To sit. Root. To sit. American English, fort. That's the firmament, the settlement, the establishment, the strengthening. Okay? Defense, protection. To sit before, protect. Protect who? The lie? Yes. I just put that in there, sorry. So here's presidium, preside over. President is here, late 14th century. Again, we were just reading from the 4th and the 5th day. You're thinking we're talking about a day, but a day can mean 100 years or 1,000 years. You guys, you know what? Let's see. Let's see so I can get it right. Day can mean 100 years. Let's see. See, the great white throne judgment will last for 100 years. Wait, what would 1,000 years? Okay, what would take us 1,000 years to do, God can do in a day? Okay, so I guess there's a little bit of humor. I don't know. But again, you're thinking it's amazing. Why is she saying all this stuff that happened in a day when these are just a couple of sentences right here? But that's what I'm saying. It's just a shortening up of it. And then it's coming in and telling you the story. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning to the end, pretty much. But again. So let's see. Let's try to put, okay, a day to God is 1,000 years. Okay, so what is this? A day is like 1,000 years. The word like or as shows that it is a figure of speech. Ouch. Called a simile. I don't know. But to me, whatever it means the truth. If I had $1 for each time I heard someone use the phrase 1,000 of years to the biblical 6-day creation, I finally, wait a minute, let's see what he's talking about. Okay, so if I had $1 for each time I heard someone use this phrase to add 1,000 years of the biblical 6 days. Oh, see, I'm not the only one. I finally might be able to purchase a newer model of a minivan my wife and I would love to have. It seems as if whenever there is a discussion of the days of creation, someone mentions how those days may be long, might be a long period of time. After all, the Bible does say with God, one day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day. Does this phrase really support a day age theory? Okay. All right. So again, you guys can come and look at this on your own. It says Apologetics Press. I don't know. But that's pretty much kind of like what I'm trying to say. But, I'm just using other information in order to bring it or bring it to light. Okay? So, appointed. Almost sound like anointed. But I digress. Governor of a province. Kind of like, what's that dude name we just had? What's his name? No, I don't think it was that one. Nope. Okay, we're not gonna go there. We'll just finish up. John Hanson, I think his name was. So, let's see. Permanent, whatever, preside over defense. We already did this. President, governor, to act as head or chief, to preside. Head of chief of staff, head of state. I don't know. Same thing they have in all these other places that have been lying to you. For use of chief executive, blah, blah, blah. Earlier American use for office in charge of the Continental Congress. Again, we're in the 7th day. Let's see. Oh, and I think it was of Virginia, the one dude. The banks. Let's see. Attested from 1763. Anyway, possess, preside, reside, settle, subsidy, subside, soil. This is just the term, I guess, said. But anyways, to plant. What I'm trying to tell you they were doing in the first day or in the first chapter. To sit. Let's see, install a chair or a seat, meaning preside over. Let's see. Misrule, bad government of a state, meaning disorderly conduct or living. To preside over. Remaining in one place. We're still in what I would think would be the 5th day. Sitting, remaining in one place, present. Official seat, sit still, remain, be fixed or settled. And that's what immigrants do. They come from one place to settle in another. And what do they get? Benefits. Because why? They don't want you to have them. So of persons, the sense not in the habit of exercise. Okay. So let's see if any of this is any good. To regulate, mitigate, restrain, temper, set a measure, keep something, measure within. Kind of remind me of that little what you call that thing? What the Freemasons have on their emblem. The little measuring tool. I just can't remember right now. Take appropriate measures. Become less violent, severe, rigorous, meaning to preside over a debate. First attested in 1570. So oh yeah. So okay. So anyways, I just wanted to read that to you guys. Dang, I think it was something I wanted to go back to. Preside. King James. Okay. Well, yeah. So I think that's it. I have somebody waiting to talk to me, and I think it just kind of knocked me off my square. So that's it for now. I guess I will come back later if there's anything that I would like to add. Until then, I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to at least give me a thumbs up if you like the content, or leave a comment below. And I will see you in the next one.